The third form, Soresu, also known as the Resilience form or the Way of the Minok, is the ultimate expression of defense, and its masters are said to be impervious to all forms of attack. Hello YouTube! This is Gensare commencing with his next Nerd Rage rant. I will be describing the Soresu lightsaber form. Soresu was designed when blasters and other directed energy weapons became widespread, rendering the dueling-centric Makashi obsolete. Soresu was originally an extrapolation of Shicho blast deflection training, but over time evolved to become the ultimate expression of pacifist Jedi philosophy. Soresu's core tenets are actually based around fighting mentality rather than practical requirements. I will quote the Jedi Path to explain this. Those who wish to study Form 3 are advised to practice their meditations, for Soresu is the most inward-directed of all forms. You are to be the calm eye in the storm as your enemies rage about you. Quote, end quote. Soresu was primarily geared towards defensive coverage and total protection, and relied on tight, minimalist moves, and strongly refrained from sweeps, lunges, or acrobatics. Quick reflexes and fast positional transitions were stressed to overcome the speed with which a blaster could be fired. A master of the style could hold out against up to 20 shooters. Also, the minimalist moves served the additional purpose of helping to conserve energy, allowing a Soresu duelist to continue fighting for a really long time. And when I say a long time, I mean a really long time. Overall, Soresu was all about minimizing body exposure and keeping up energy efficiency. This focus on defense and long-term survival made Soresu versatile and tactile, allowing a duelist to gain control of a combat situation, creating options. A Soresu master could choose to kill, disarm, or even reason with his opponent. Here are Soresu's moves, maneuvers, and stances. The Soresu opening position was a backhand stance, blade extended forwards parallel to the arm. I feel that I must voice my issues regarding this position. What is a classical offensive fencing guard doing in a defensive style geared towards deflecting projectiles and providing maximum defensive coverage? I believe the only reason this stance was attributed to Soresu is because Kenobi kept using it in Episode 3 and in a lot of the promotional material. I love Ewan McGregor, you did a great job as Kenobi, but why? The Soresu brace-ready stance makes a great deal more sense given what this martial art is designed to do. The lightsaber is held in a two-handed grip at waist height, blade extended upwards. The forward foot is extended to the side. A variation on this position has the blade held high in a drop parry position, though otherwise it is the same. The deflecting slash was fairly multi-purpose and versatile. The primary use was to turn a blast deflection move into an attack at an adjacent target, though the secondary use was to facilitate an aimed blast deflection and hit the shooter, though this tactic was more commonly applied by Xian practitioners. The circle of shelter involved spinning the blade to deflect multiple shots, creating a protected zone. Long-term applications of this technique called for a Jedi to fall into what's referred to as a moving meditation, and can allow a duelist to hold his own against up to 20 shooters. So, Yeah. Statistical breakdown. Here's what Soresu has going for it. Perfect, impenetrable defense. Obvious, really? Excellent for blast deflection, its primary purpose, though as we covered earlier, it remains extremely useful and potent in blade-to-blade combat. The style focuses on self-defense above all else, and that makes it perfect for long-term survivalist strategies. What does it have going against it? No offense, Soresu's primary and possibly only weakness. Even at its highest levels, this style still needs to be paired with a more offensive style to score a decisive blow. This is the only weakness, but it's a pretty damn big one. Ultimately, Soresu is either first response to give you time to think, or last resort when the goal is just to get away alive. As you may have gathered by now, the poster boy practitioner for Soresu is Obi-Wan Kenobi. You guys know the drill by now. I depict the most famous user of the style in a rather embarrassing situation. So, all joking aside, here's how badass our friend Obi really is. He beat Asajj Ventress several times, he beat Dirge, he beat Darth Vader, he fought Grievous and Dooku several times, and held out pretty well. I say he didn't beat Grievous because Grievous still had 2 lightsabers handy in their last fight, and Kenobi drove him into a retreat with a force ability, not a lightsaber attack. Then they messed around with something completely unrelated, then Kenobi shot him. 5 times. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video.